They did some tricks to hide the fact that this vehicle is unsafe to drive. Now, why would they do that? Probably because replacing this frame rail may have likely totaled this vehicle, and they needed the revenue in the shop.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the airing of grievances. I'm Eric Reamer, this is Robert Grieve, and my friend, happy Saturday to you.
And to you.
Thank you.
And to our friends that are watching.
Indeed, indeed.
We really appreciate you, really do.
So, Rob, today we're going to be talking about a tragic story. And as we've been preparing prior to turning on the camera here, I've watched your mood, your demeanor, and this is bugging you.
It's outrageous, really.
Yeah, it is. We're going to get to that story in just a minute, but I want to introduce the new folks here. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Super glad that you are here.
Thank you.
And if you don't mind, if you'd give us a thumbs up, if you appreciate the content. Not all of our content is happy-go-lucky. However, all of our content is helpful to you, the consumer, the average driver.
It's going to be the truth, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, right? And that's an important piece. And, of course, if you're a regular here, one of our longtime friends, we just say thank you so much. We're grateful for you, and we're always happy to see you. Remember, at any time, you can put a comment down below, and we will respond to that comment. We will engage with you. And, of course, if you want to catch us on the premiere, 9:30 in the morning, every Saturday morning, we are here live watching the first run of the video with you. And you can engage with us.
I don't even get to see it before everybody gets to see it.
No, you don't.
I
No.
get to see it the same time everybody else sees it.
I get to see it for
Some
a week
sort of bullshit
before
going
all
on
of you.
here.
All right. So, Rob, set the stage for us here. This is a convoluted story.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest takeaways that you need to know is if you take your vehicle to the wrong place,
The wrong body shop.
the wrong body shop to get it repaired, you may land up getting sued personally.
If you want to hear the end of that story, stay
Yeah.
tuned because this is coming, and that's what we're going to be talking about.
Because this is a reality, and it may be happening as soon as next week, and these people have no idea that it's coming.
It's an ugly, ugly story. All right, let's go all the way back in time.
Okay.
Set the scene. Somebody bought a car.
So,
Or leased a car.
somebody leased a vehicle. Unfortunately, towards the end of the lease, they were involved in a front-end collision and brought it, I'm going to guess, to the place that their insurance company recommended, or they chose them off the list. These people are on everybody's list, so...
We have warned you many times about going with the insurance recommendation or their preferred shops.
Yeah.
We call them DRP shops because that stands for a direct repair program that they have with the insurance companies. I'll link one of the videos that we've mentioned them here, and you can find more links below in the description box.
Yeah, and I always kind of kid around that we're kind of a preferred shop too. They prefer you don't come to us. So anyway,
It's true. It's true.
so these people had an accident. That's bad enough all by itself.
Yes.
They go to the body shop, get their car fixed. I would assume drive it around a little bit more, and then it's at the end of the lease, and they turn the vehicle into the dealership.
All right. Sure.
And I would believe, unsuspecting to them,
The dealership.
the dealership and the consumer,
Oh.
they did not realize how much danger the shop put them and their passengers in. And I'm just going to show you a couple pictures here.
Okay. Before you get to the pictures.
Yeah.
How much danger the shop put them in
Yeah.
by
by not repairing the vehicle correctly, or in some cases not repairing it. I don't want to say it all because they repaired some things, but they didn't repair the most critical things.
I understand. Okay, so show me these pictures.
Yeah, so what does this and this have in common?
Those two pictures?
Yeah.
One is a car seat.
Yep.
And the other looks like a prize fighter after a night with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, it's a bent front frame rail.
That is ugly.
I mean, it's kinked and almost folded over itself. It has absolutely no purpose in life anymore. Its purpose is done. It needs to be replaced, and it needed to be replaced.
It would not sustain another hit.
No, it would collapse even further, and then the energy travel could go in any direction.
We've done a video on energy as well.
Yeah.
I'll link to that up here as well as down in the description box.
And then keep in mind, us adults, we're pretty resilient to this sort of thing.
Yeah.
But what about that prize package that's sitting in that car seat in the back?
Yeah, the baby. I mean, so what do those two pictures have in common?
They're both in the same car.
The car seat is in this
In the car with this bent frame rail.
And I'm sure that we're talking about this because this is the car that was turned in
Yes.
after the lease had ended,
Yes.
after the repair shop that was not chosen wisely did not repair this.
Yeah, it's criminal in my mind, and it's, so they turned it in. Somehow or another, the dealership bought it from, I don't know, Lexus or whatever, because it was a lease return. So it's going to go back to Lexus unless maybe the dealer has first right of refusal. They don't know this damage is here. They buy the car, they sell the car, and the car lands up here because the new owner got a dent in the door.
The door?
Yeah, so we got to, repair the door and blend the paint in both directions. So front door is damaged, we're going to blend into the front fender, we're going to blend into the rear door so nobody can see any color differences.
Right.
But in order to do that, you have to disassemble the car.
Of course.
When we disassemble the car, bumper comes off, headlight comes out, all the rest of that, and there it is, plain as day. Now we're faced with a choice. We have to make a decision.
We?
Meaning us now.
At Nylund's Collision
At
Center.
Nylund's.
Okay.
Because there are just too many shops that would take the Nunya approach to this thing. Nunya business.
Yep.
Put the bumper back on. We don't have anything to do with that. We're here to fix a door. But I cannot let that car, and the car is not going back to the guest. Just so we'll fast forward to that.
Wow.
We've made a lot of arrangements with a lot of people and interviewed a lot of people, and the guest will not be driving this car anymore. They will be traded out of it into another vehicle of their choice. So,
well, there's the happy ending, at least
Yeah.
to that side of the story. But
yeah,
this
many
story,
kudos to the Lexus dealer.
This story, like the onion I had for dinner last night, has many layers, right? And we're on the surface here.
Right. So, we have a lot of unsuspecting parties here. We have an unsuspecting dealer that bought and sold a vehicle. We have an unsuspecting person that had their car repaired, or at least they thought they did, and it wasn't. And we have somebody that purchased the car, put their child in the back of it, and has been driving around with this vehicle with a bent frame rail. I mean, it's a crushed frame rail, among other things. So, to me, it doesn't get much more infuriating than this, because it's a lot of work on everybody to unravel this whole thing. And I contacted the gigantic body shop that repaired this thing.
Yeah.
Or
it's a national brand.
It's an international brand.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, they came down and looked at it, and they were disappointed at the beginning, but 2 days later they called me and said, yeah, because it's changed ownership, because it's changed ownership, both them and the insurance company are walking away from it.
They're washing their hands. They're not going to step up and take care of it, because though it was their responsibility originally,
Yeah, billion-dollar companies are turning their back on this thing, and a little guy like me has to do what I can to help out the guest that's in this predicament, and it's horrible.
You just said it's horrible. Earlier, you said it's criminal.
I believe it to be criminal.
Right?
Because how do you put a vehicle back on the road like this?
And it's not like they didn't see it. I mean,
Well, here, I'm going to bring this picture up. Here's a picture of the headlight.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a picture of the tab of the headlight. And that's supposed to be a round circle.
Oh, it looks like somebody bored out
And somebody wallowed it out that much. It's double the size it's supposed to be.
Okay.
In order to get the headlight to fit right in there, because it's attaching to everything that's still all bent.
If the frame is cattywampus, everything's going to be cattywampus.
Yeah. So we just did some tricks.
Not we.
Not we.
Not we.
They did some tricks to hide the fact that this vehicle is unsafe to drive. Now, why would they do that? Probably because replacing this frame rail may have likely totaled this vehicle, and they needed the revenue in the shop. So let's figure out who the winners and the losers are here.
Okay.
The technician that did the shit-ass job on this thing
Yep.
is a winner because he got paid. He or she. The shop that fixed it, the multi-billion-dollar international body repair facility, winners. They got paid. And they're not taking any responsibility. Insurance company, billion-dollar company, winner. Because they didn't have to pay for this additional loss. They saved all the money on it. And the loser is...
And are not taking responsibility.
And are not taking responsibility, according to the big body shop that told me that they're out. And there's nothing they can do. You know, it's like the old mob movies I used to watch. He's gone. There's nothing we could do.
This is horrible.
Yeah, so, we can't force our insurance partner to do anything. And I said, well, here, this is... As much as you left it like this and gave it back to somebody like this, the fact of the matter is you didn't write to replace that frame rail, and the insurance company owes for it.
Yep.
And if they're going to put it in now, it's likely going to total the vehicle. So they're just going to total the vehicle. Well, because it changed ownership, all of these guarantees and warranties are as long as you own the vehicle.
Devil's in the fine print.
If you turn it in or you trade it or sell it and somebody else buys it,
all bets are off.
All bets are off. The insurance company and the body shop gets to skate. And the technician.
And the technician, who is culpable because he's the one who drilled that hole.
Yeah. I know he knows that it was not done properly. And when I spoke to the collision center, this multi-billion-dollar collision center, international,
Yep.
I asked him, did you measure the vehicle? I mean, it took a hard enough hit in the front that it needed a rebar and new hood and all the stuff in the front. Did you measure the vehicle? I mean, if you went to the doctor and said, I think my hand's broken, they're not going to look at it and say, nah, it doesn't look too bad to me.
Right.
No, they're going to x-ray it. This was an obvious candidate to even the casual observer that it should be measured. Had they measured it, they would have... You don't need to measure it to see that kind of damage.
Yeah.
But had they measured it, the car would have likely been a total loss, and it would have been done and over with. But they wanted to, it's just my opinion.
Sure.
They wanted to keep the revenue, and the money was more important than the person driving the car, and that is every day. It's only been a few weeks since I just did the last one, and a few weeks before I did the last one. And these things are just showing up on my doorstep, left and right, and it's a lot of work on us to help the guests out that are in this situation.
Of course. And yet we do it because it's the right thing to do, and that's
I couldn't let that guy
No, that's
or
it.
gal go off the lot with driving this vehicle.
Especially not with a child seat in the back and knowing
Yeah.
that there are.
I wouldn't even let them pick it up and bring it to the dealer to trade it in or to get it, to get their new vehicle. We will get it to the dealer.
All right, so we talked about the winners. Let's talk about loser number one. Loser number one is the guy who owns the car today, right?
Yep, big time.
Because
Although I fixed that.
you did.
And with a lot of other people
Of course.
coming to the table to do the right thing.
Yep. And again, think about what Rob just said here. He engaged all the other people and pulled the strings together to make the fabric strong in settling this thing out and getting
And taking care of our guests and making them safe.
Yeah, the current owner will not be driving an unsafe vehicle, and now has a new vehicle to take
Enjoy,
his family in. All right, so that's the solution number one is the current owner. However, there's liability and responsibility that trickles down, and let's take that one step back. Now the dealership has a vehicle that was improperly repaired, and they know it.
And they're going to have to, I believe, and I don't know, I believe the situation as it stands right now is they are going to send it to auction and declare it as a frame damage vehicle.
Okay. And there's rules that go around.
There's
that.
lots and lots of rules that go around that.
Right.
And, the most important thing is it's off the road from everything that I could do. I'd like to
Yes.
see the car in a crusher.
Yeah, sure.
But, I don't get to make that decision.
Right.
But for me, the guest is not going to be driving it, and we did help make that happen.
And that's a huge help. Okay, so the car's back at the dealership. It's going to probably go to the auction as a frame damaged vehicle. That means that the dealership is going to be out a certain dollar amount.
Yes, they are.
And while we can't predict the future, but there is an option that is available to the dealership.
Yes.
What is that option?
They may be able to go after the original owner of, well, it wasn't the original owner, the leasee of the vehicle.
Right.
Because remember, when you lease a vehicle, you're signing a contract that you're basically renting the car. And
Yeah.
you have certain obligations during that rental time that property is in your possession.
Sure.
And, you sign on with the manufacturer to say, I want to borrow your car and I'm going to pay you this a month for it. For X amount of time and X amount of miles, and then there's obligations that you have to fulfill during that time.
Sure. Let me ask you another question. This guy or gal, whoever it was that leased the vehicle originally, who got in the accident, who took it to the body shop, they are now in the scheme of things liable or could be liable for
Should be liable.
a lawsuit that comes down the pike that says, it was improperly repaired while it was in your hands, and therefore we're coming after you for that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: as this is a Saturday morning that we're talking here, do you suspect that person suspects a thing?
No, I do not.
Don't see it coming. Could have been months or even a year ago.
Well, it was right around the December time frame.
Okay, so
And how do I know? Because the body shop, mega body shop, billions of dollars,
Yep.
left the part stickers on it, and the part stickers say what date that they were purchased and where they went.
all right.
So we have our investigator hat that goes into all this stuff as well.
Tell you what. All right, so wow, there's layers and layers of this thing going on, and it's not done yet. We're right in the midst of it. The good news is the current owner now has a new car. But what happens is, I think that the underlying story that we want to tell here, Rob, is you got to be careful who you choose to do the repair of your vehicle. This is
And that's a hard, daunting task.
it's a $1 billion company with a name that you recognize, and your insurance company, the company that's supposed to be on your side or in good hands, or
Cashed out on this deal.
they really did. And they recommended this shop, which makes them culpable.
Oh, and what I was going to say about your, what you have to do under the contract.
Yeah.
So you have a contract with them, and you pledge that you're going to do this, X, Y, and Z,
For the
while you
lease.
have it in your
Yeah.
possession. Well, you also have a contract with the insurance company that is insuring it. You're insuring it through an insurance company.
Right.
And there may be some conflict there.
What kind of conflict?
Because this agreement over here, the lease agreement, may say you can only use original equipment manufacturer parts on the vehicle to repair it.
Okay.
We gave it to you with OEM parts on it. We want it back with OEM parts on it.
Right.
And we want it back repaired properly.
Yep.
But your insurance company, that policy may say all we owe you for is used, aftermarket, salvage, anything, refurbished. And that does not satisfy this other contract that you signed. So you may be out of pocket if you do not choose the right insurer over here to protect your commitment that you made over here. Because this one doesn't care about that contract or you.
And there it is. The insurers, at least in this story, don't care about you. They care about their bottom line. That's it. And so, Rob, when you say you've got to choose your shop wisely, we've written blogs. I'll link them down below at nylundscollision.com. We've written or we've done videos on how to know where to take your car. I'll put a link to that right up here. Ultimately, you really, really, really have to have some kind of a litmus test. And the best one that we could come up with,
the very first one, is do not take it to a place that your insurance company recommends.
what he said.
There's a reason they recommend them, and it isn't because they're the highest quality around.
That's it. And listen, we're just one body shop in the sea of body shops, and we're not telling you this to try to gain business for us.
No.
Trust me, the business finds us, and it finds us because our reputation is one of integrity and quality. If it's not perfect,
It's not leaving.
I mean, that's just it right there. And the most recent tagline that we've adopted is, it's the right people using the right equipment.
For the right reasons.
That's it.
So,
And we're sorry to be the bearer of this difficult story. But at the same time, if you hear what we say today and then sometime in the future need to recall that and bring it back and say, wait a minute, I remember a story like this, and it helps you avoid the trauma that is coming down for the original owner, or the trauma
potentially.
that is coming that came for the current owner of the vehicle.
The current owner couldn't be more thrilled because, they got a dent in the door.
Right.
Their neighbor backed into them. It was a freak deal.
Right.
And we discovered how unsafe the vehicle is while it's in our possession, and we're getting it off the road. The guy could not be more thrilled in the way that we approached this thing, and has been incredibly patient. I mean, this car should have been painted and fixed and down the road weeks ago. But it just doesn't happen that fast when you get these kind of complications.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, Rob, thank you for bringing this to our attention. And folks, do us a favor. Give us a thumbs up for this video. We really appreciate those. The YouTube algorithm shows it to more people when you like and you comment. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Click the notify bell while you're there. That helps us communicate with you. We don't send you any kind of spam or post or anything like that. We just post a video every Saturday morning at 9:30 in the morning. But we want to engage with you, and the best way to do that is to leave a comment below or pick up the phone and call us. We're always available to answer your questions, and it doesn't matter where you are in the country, right? If you
We got people all over.
if you want an answer from a man who eats, sleeps, breathes, and drinks integrity, then give us a call. I'll put the phone number right here on the screen. And to that end, my friend,
Happy Saturday.
happy Saturday to
Happy
you.
Saturday to you.
and
Thanks
to
for
you.
tuning in. I appreciate you.